Thank you, Susie, and a warm welcome to all participants from my side as well. In the next 10 minutes, I will be giving you an overview of the Ukrainian refugee situation in Romania from a safeguarding perspective. Next slide, please. The objectives of this session are threefold. First, I'll be outlining the refugee situation and the humanitarian response. Second, I'll be presenting the key safeguarding risks and concerns affecting the refugees from Ukraine. And third and last, I'll be sharing some solutions that could address the safeguarding needs of local CSOs, providing aid to refugees. Next slide, please. As of October 30th, there were almost 88,000 refugees from Ukraine recorded in Romania. Out of this, a bit more than 78,000 have registered for temporary protection, with 62% being women and girls. Most of the refugees from Ukraine prefer to seek for accommodation in counties which are close to or bordering Ukraine and the Republic of Moldova in order to be able to enter and exit Romania easier. Another key figure is that most of the refugees from Ukraine live in hosting accommodation, predominantly thanks to the program 50+20, which was rolled out by the government to give access to medium-term accommodation and food for the refugees from Ukraine. Private hosts can sign up in the program and receive 50 lei, around 10 euros for accommodation, and 20 lei, around 5 euros for food per person per day. I wanted to highlight this measure because it has proven to be quite controversial. In the sense that it gave rise to a lot of business opportunities. So just for you to have an idea, a private host can make up to 2,000 euros for a family of 5 per month, given that the average cost of rent in Bucharest is 400 euros. As well as it has given rise to cases of economic and sexual exploitation due to insufficient safeguards. Next slide, please. The humanitarian response in Romania is currently co-implemented between the national plan of measures regarding the protection and inclusion of displaced people from the RRP. The national plan consists of 35 measures looking at different themes, including health, education, access to the labor market, accommodation, vulnerable people, and children and youth. 23 out of these 35 measures are financed through the RRP. Regarding the refugee coordination structure, the government of Romania is overseeing the rollout of the national plan and works closely with the representatives of the Refugee Coordination Forum, which is mainly formed of UN agencies and CSOs, in order to ensure synergies with the RRP. Next slide, please. Cross-cutting measures and actions to safeguard refugees from Ukraine have been integrated in both plans, in the national plan and the RRP. Under the national plan, a key action was the establishment of the PSEA and anti-trafficking working group with the mandate of rolling out a plan of action in the next weeks. At the level of the RRP, it was decided the setup of the PSEA network with the mandate of promoting collective in-country response at technical and strategic level. The PSEA network in Romania currently consists of over 40 members, predominantly local and international NGOs, and really represents a significant space for safeguarding needs identification, capacity building, and sharing of good practices. Next slide, please. In the last couple of weeks, we had conversations with local CSOs and other actors in order to identify and compile safeguarding risks and concerns for refugees from Ukraine in Romania. What we noticed was that the risks can be or are driven by the local context and the humanitarian response per se, or a combination of the two. So if we look at the local drivers of safeguarding concerns, what stood out were, first and foremost, lack of a consolidated and comprehensive safeguarding framework that regulates the way NGOs work with vulnerable groups. Secondly, it was indicated a culture of harmful norms and roles that enable, perpetuate, and normalize different forms of violence. So certain forms of violence, for instance, harassment and bullying, they are highly tolerated in Romania at all levels, including family, community, and institutions. And when they occur, they go largely unnoticed or unsanctioned. Finally, a nationwide and systemic discrimination against the LGBT community and people with disabilities. For instance, in Romania, same-sex marriage is not recognized, and the LGBT community continues to be bullied and harassed due to sexual orientations or gender identity. On the other hand, people with disabilities face great discrimination through the lack of accessibility services, including in means of transportation or public institutions such as schools. So moving to the humanitarian response drivers, local CSOs informed us that there is a very high risk of trafficking of women, children, and people with disabilities. Actors in general, be them CSOs or local authorities, have an insufficient human and financial capacity to put in place prevention and response safeguarding measures. There are also insufficient measures in public or host accommodation. So for instance, to adequately monitor the program 50+20 and prevent incidents of exploitation. Finally, and this was something that was mentioned by Alcheta as well, due to the rapid escalation of the humanitarian response, many actors could not fully implement their safe recruitment practices when hiring staff or engaging with volunteers. Next slide, please. So from the same conversations that we had with local CSOs, was also revealed some very specific measures and opportunities to address safeguarding needs. First and foremost, we were told that we should start small. Safeguarding is a concept largely unknown by the great majority of the CSOs. So organizing awareness raising on this topic with a focus on unequal power dynamics and the implications of abuse of power could really represent a first step to set the scene and enable CSOs to start reflecting on the way they do their work with vulnerable categories of people. Secondly, local CSOs informed us that due to their very heavy workload, online and short guidelines contextualized and translated into Romanian that could be immediately accessed and implemented would be of great help. Third, a basic introductory e-learning course to safeguarding was also indicated to be of interest for some CSOs. And finally, local CSOs really advised us to consider providing tailored capacity building on individual elements of a safeguarding system, such as safe recruitment or the response mechanism. So this is primarily due to, on the one hand, the insufficient human and financial capacity of CSOs, and on the other hand, that actors might find themselves at different stages of their safeguarding journey. Next slide, please. So quickly, just to conclude, I would like to share with you my contact details and encourage all the representatives of Romanian stakeholders present here today to reach out for questions, support, or to present an idea for further collaboration. Thank you, and over to you, Suzy.